Well, SpaceX unfortunately had another disaster on their hands. This happened yesterday as they launched SpaceX Starship, which is a spacecraft, and unfortunately, it exploded.
Ooh. Was this one of their planned disruption, whatever they call it? They have the special term for when they make it explode because something goes wrong?
Nope, this was not planned.
Spontaneous,
yeah.
Right. Nobody was on it, though.
No,
Okay.
An uncrewed mission. This was something where they were doing a test flight for this SpaceX Starship, and this is Flight 8, I believe. So this is the 8th test that they've done for this specific spacecraft, and basically less than 10 minutes into the flight, the Starship craft, which had continued on to space after it's separated from the heavy booster that kind of helps get it up into space. After it split from there, maybe about 8 minutes after that, it lost all contact with the SpaceX and their headquarters. And then some of the Raptor engines went out. It lost altitude control, started spinning.
Oh,
and then
sounds exciting.
Yeah, well, it's just as it slowly loses altitude, it just starts spinning because it's falling.
Right.
And so, and then at that point, it did explode towards the top, which caused it looks scary when you watch the footage because it's just like
now.
Balls of fire coming down from the sky.
Somebody from the Bahamas getting like live video of this. And I mean, odds are if you're just filming this, you don't know what's going on.
Right. You have no idea.
And you've heard all these scary plane stories and stuff as of late.
Yeah.
But knowing what it is, it's cool to see.
Yeah. So it was, it fell into most of like Florida area because it was launched in Florida. But this is kind of unfortunate for SpaceX because they actually did have this happen with Flight 7 for this same spacecraft. And it was over Turks and Caicos that it ended up exploding and falling. They were able to, it didn't injure anybody. They were able to collect most of the debris, I believe. And none of it is like toxic material, so it's not going to harm any wildlife or water or anything like that. But yeah, still an unfortunate circumstance.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah, it pushes them back for sure on this this plan for this mission and what they're trying to get done with it. But they have kept saying, and this is what makes me believe that they're really kind of starting from scratch with this thing, is they've kept saying like there's too many question marks with this spacecraft. And so it just seems like with every test there's new flaws that are coming up. And I mean, when you have an explosion, of course, there's flaws.
Some fatal flaws, to say the least.
Potentially fatal. Again, an uncrewed mission. But they're going through their due diligence. They don't want to put people on something that could end up exploding. So, it seems like this is just going to be something that's going to take a while for them to get right.
Isn't it crazy? Like, SpaceX is just a company.
Yeah.
Like they need to make a profit to make money.
Right.
How can this when will this ever be profitable?
Good question.
You think about how much money they must have spent to shoot this thing out on a very expensive firework is what this is.
Yeah. They were able to catch the booster though. So they are able to reuse those.
So that's one good thing.
That's something that SpaceX invented. The idea of being able to catch a booster and reuse it. It doesn't just fall into the ocean and then it's gone.
Yeah.
You can collect it, but you can't really. All you're doing is like trying to reuse some of the material. But yeah, they were able to catch it in what they call the Mechzilla, which just looks like the big chopstick thing. So they were able to catch that.
Which doesn't sound like something a supervillain would have or anything.
Sure, no. But I mean, that in and of itself is a good feat and a great thing.
I don't know much about space, but that's impressive.
It's very impressive. That's the third successful time that they've been able to do that. So there was some success in the mission and then also some not great things.
Yeah, some very obvious not great things.
Yeah.
Well, if you saw an explosion and maybe, I don't know if Nikki saw this.
Right.
Well, maybe we could ask her. But that's what this was. SpaceX blown up.
While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.